Namo Vitragaya,
Namo Vitragaya,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Vasayanam,
Loye Savasahanam,
Namo Loye Savasahanam,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Vappanasanam,
Sabbapavappanasanam,
Mangalancha Sauvesim,
Mangalancha Sauvesim,
Padmam Havai Mangalam,
Padmam Havai Mangalam,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand.
So, Falguniben, you can initiate the conversation.
I mean, I was just explaining to you that it's more like you can get more from by question answer.
Yes.
And then he was saying, what kind of question do I need to ask? So like
Whatever comes to
spiritual base, per your understanding, and whatever you understand on spiritual base, you could double check that is your understanding need any like editing or something like that.
If I expand onto the subject, what she's saying, see, even the word spirituality conveys it may not convey the entire meaning. So basically, it is the knowledge or science of as there are sciences outside, there is a science within me also. My mind, body, speech, how it is functioning, what leads to happiness, what leads to unhappiness. What better can I do with the same time frame, say, without any additional efforts? What can I change? With which understanding it will give me the better yield of what is the purpose of my life. So it's all the science first primarily about my inner self, but it is reflected to the universe because we believe that what is there in microcosm is also there in the universe. So then I, with mind, speech, body, inner happenings, outer happenings, how do they happen? What is the basis of happening? Sometimes favorable, sometimes unfavorable, and natural laws or natural regulatory system as a whole. From second angle, if we see, then we get to know discover the world within, how the inner world is functioning. Because when asked, the people say, what is more important, the world outside or the world inside? So people say the world inside is also important. But most of the times we get to know the outside world more, and we may not be much aware about how my inner machinery is functioning, like mind, the reflective conscious, intellect, ego, beliefs, opinions, and other things. Then if we go further, sometimes we have inquisitiveness to know that, what all can I control or command independently? Am I the independent doer, or am I the instrumental doer, or how the circumstances? That's mysteries of human life, secrets of human life, you can say. And the fourth part, maybe, who am I? That's my true self. If my relative self is giving me so much of output and happiness, then the inner innate source, core of my being, should be much more powerful, much more having infinite. So we believe that it's a source of infinite knowledge power, source of infinite perception power, and source of infinite bliss. So we term this is the holistic science of life and living in yourself, nature, natural regulatory laws, and then system as a whole. So now you can ask the questions, and whatever comes into this sphere, anything and everything may come into that sphere. So no question is irrelevant. No discussion is irrelevant here. Everything is relevant with this perspective.
So I just had a brief conversation with Jeff the other day in the kitchen. Like I was explaining this, and I was saying that, okay, because, people know religion, like Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and like there are different religion. So what is in religion, the way my understanding is, you can correct me also. So the way I see, because people are in outer world, people look at religion, and based on that, we improve ourselves. Like somebody, all the religion are improving our, like, supports peace. And as a human, how can you improve your like a positive way of living life? right? That's basically all religion try to say. So religion is one base when it comes to spirituality, but
Did you say one phase?
phase, it's a one phase to
Oh.
get to a certain, because spirituality is even beyond that. Like whatever way you would understand through Christianity or Hinduism, but this is what this is, what we are learning. This is beyond that, right? So the religion is basically man-made kind of thing, and we need that. We need that people to understand up to that level. But there are so many people who want to even dive deeper. So that is where this comes, per my understanding. So, so that's what I was explaining to Jeff the other day. That Jeff, this is like way more beyond than religion. What the session we will have on Sunday. So that's what I explained. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it makes some sense. But see, when we say religion, it gives us a secluded understanding. So some boundaries that this is different from that, this is different from that. Here it is not that. Here, that's why I say the knowledge or science, holistic science of my life, living nature, natural regulatory laws and system as a whole. So anybody on the earth, any human being, it is beneficial and useful to one and all, irrespective of caste, color, creed, faith, nationality, socioeconomic status, whatever it is. Because the truths are fundamentals like a science are eternal. The outer science has its own way of doing the things. The inner science also derives. In fact, it is a continuous spectrum of the science. Outer and inner, we don't differentiate. It's a spectrum of one science only. So in that way, it's a science or knowledge. It is beneficial and useful irrespective of any, whatever one is believing or not. Second thing, if at all, if you want to say, then it's knowing the self, and for the self of everybody is a pure self, and then going beyond that. So that should be fine. Whether what to my mind, it's the religions are like driving in different cars. Somebody driving Tesla car, somebody Mercedes Benz, somebody but reaching to the same place. So one can have one's own car or as per one's own liking. That's fine. Again, there are three parts to my belief. One is the core truth or fundamentals, as I see. Then, for those fundamentals, derived on those fundamentals, the preachers or teachers, they develop the code of conducts. And then there may be some supporting traditions or rituals for the people en masse. But these second and third are not that important as the first, what is at the core fundamental truths. That may be the common for anybody. Atheist or an atheist, whatever it may be. Even for those who are not believing in any religions, also that's fine.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Where do religions come from? Are they like an attempt to get to the core, or are they?
Yes, religions come from as she said, that once we understand, the life is being lived by everybody. Everybody is living life. Now there may be some questions like, why do I get mental stress? Why do I get mental worries? Then how can I have the happiness, harmony, positive and meaningful living? Then some people have different inquiries further than that. What's the ultimate aim of my life? Something like that. So religions at different levels, teachers or people who have some inner enlightenment, some extra knowledge from the nature, they try to guide the mankind that, okay, look, this is, you can progress beyond this in a given time spell of your life. So they, based on the core truths, as I say, fundamental truths, they try to guide the people. So that is how the religions came. It's different that in present times, not all the religions have maintained their correct essence. The people believe something different, they are catching something different than what they are really trying to say. But even if we put that aside, religions are a sort of light, guiding light to particular group or a mass of people, which may be different. Like in a school, there may be lower KG, higher KG, first standard, second standard, up to PhD. So similarly, the peoples have different layers of beliefs or inner developments. Based on the requirements, the different religions have come up. All are correct, may not be the same, because they have different level of belief. But all are same, all are correct, all are trying to do good to the mankind. in the form of giving some correct understanding. The basis of that, as I said, is some core truths or core fundamental understanding, rules or understandings, whatever you say.
So there's something in the way of believing, right? Of understanding the core truth. What is that in the way?
Yeah. So if we simplify it, see, there are two types of living for me. One is the interconnected living, by mind, speech, body, living with all, maybe at family, maybe at the society level, maybe at the workplace. We interact with each other, we have interconnected living. And another is my inner living, where I'm with myself. So I say that interconnected living, I have personal living, I have professional living, family living part, social living part, living as a citizen of a nation, living as a global citizen. I have different beliefs or what I need to do. And one is my inner living, where I'm living inside myself with my mind, speech, body. That's the two parts. So please come. So if we derive some common truths out of the both, how can I have the best interconnected living? Everybody is living interconnectedly. So some simple truths are put forward by all. See, everybody said, even Bible said, it is blessed to share rather than to have. Means share your happiness, share something what you have with others. Our people said, yoga piyo paropkara, means use your mind, speech, body, your time, your intellect, your understanding, whatever you have to offer happiness or help to others. This is the common for all. But now we go a little beyond that. Because I also heard all these things, but my intellect was telling me that, okay, when I get some time, I will do something for her, I'll do something for him, but I'm not getting time. But then I experienced through this science that I'm not doing for anybody else. No sooner I decide that, okay, I'll celebrate the birthday of a grandson, yet it is to come after 15 days, but no sooner I decide, I start feeling happy within. My energy body becomes positive, my aura photography, selfie also becomes good, aura photography is good, functional MRI pictures, PET scan, hormones, everything becomes positive. So I learned the simple truth that whichever action of my mind, speech and body, which are going to offer some happiness or help to others, do offer happiness and help to me first. So before helping others, I'm being helped myself. Before making others happy, I'm getting happier first. And the reverse is also true. That suppose somebody tells that in your absence, your staff was not behaving well, not regular in their duties, were not getting correct answers, then my mind may say, oh, let me go, I'll fire them so that they will not do it again. So before I fire them, there's a fire within me. So it says that whichever action of my mind, speech and body which are going to hurt or disturb others, do disturb me first. So this is one basic fundamental truth which stands true for everybody. Whatever one is believing, religion, no religion, that's fine. That's a fundamental rule for interconnected living. So knowing that, I would decide within myself that, okay, let my mind, speech and body offer happiness and help to whosoever I come across, and let my mind, speech and body not hurt to the extent possible in my all interconnected living or dealings. So then we move to the next stage. In the
So the first stage, I'm disconnected, and then I start helping people.
Yeah.
And I start feeling the connection, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
No sooner I decide, I
You
decided.
don't have to do it, just the decision.
Even before, it will come into activity or action, but even before that it starts, I decide that, okay, I'll help this patient. I have yet not conveyed him that, okay, I'll help him. Not done the action. From the moment I decide at the level of mind, it starts giving me the happiness first.
Right.
Or I'm being helped first, because everything becomes positive for me. So scientifically also it is proved. So meaning thereby that when I realize that it is for my own sake, the others are there in the worldly language, but in the natural language it is for me. I am talking to you. In a worldly language, I am talking to you or for you, but in a natural language, it's first benefiting me, because my knowledge is also shining up. I am getting fulfillment. I am getting more joy. I am getting upliftment. So in this interconnected world, whatever is positive for others is positive for me first. Whatever is negative for others is negative to me first. So having realized this, I change my software belief that there is no other in the world. It is me only. Why? because each action before affecting others do affect to me first. So the enlightened ones say, "Oh, I am in everyone and everyone is in me." This is the meaning of that. So because in interconnected living, I am being affected first. The second part I heard that world is my own echo, ECHO.
So,
World is my own echo.
oh, echo.
Echo.
Mirror.
Then I was thinking that how this sentence, what does it convey? So initially I thought if I say to Falguniben that you are a nice person, the Falguniben may reciprocate, you are also a good person. But sometimes Samir Bhai may not reciprocate because he thinks that he may have some motive behind that. So then I stopped telling that you are a good person. But then I realized that irrespective of the reciprocation from outside, there is an inner reflection first. No sooner, even before I say you are a nice person, my face is smiling. Because there is inner effect that you are a nice person. No, before that I say, no, you are not a good person, there is
So
inner
are you
effect.
saying the other person doesn't need to understand the connection or understand the
The other person will get the effect of our positive energy.
without knowing it necessarily?
But before that, we will get it. Even before the other person gets the effect, good or bad, we'll first get it.
Yeah.
So it is said that the inner effects of your actions of mind, speech, and body do give you reward or penalty. The God or other agency is not required in between. So the other person may or may not get that depending on his or her perception, but I get it first depending on my intent or my purpose or my doing. So then I realized that the outer echo may come. It's a reciprocation. I help somebody, somebody helps me, or I say, yes, you are a good person, somebody says, you are also a good person. Normally this happens. Sometimes it may not happen. And the people stop doing the goodness. Okay, he or she is not caring, why should I get more that? I live my world, you live your world.
Yeah.
But then when I realized that even if the outer reciprocation echo comes or doesn't come, it's the inner effect first, which is giving me reward or penalty. So let me continue. So this is one part. Then if we expand the same thing ahead, then I realized, please come. I hope we make it 23. Problem?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So most of you, I make in 23. 24, I didn't come. My other colleagues had come. But at least Mother Nature has brought us together after 2 years, so I'm thankful and I'm enjoying that. So similarly, he gives some simple visions for the daily living, right? So second part, if we see that every living being, not only humans, even our puppies or dogs or anybody, appreciates or is happy with the love and friendliness, right? But sometimes what happens that I'm friendly to him, but he doesn't reciprocate. So it shuts the door of my heart. Or if there is a different reciprocation, then my heart doors are shut. But when I realize, same thing, that whether he or she loves me or not, but if my heart is full of love, unconditional, love is something which is unconditional, without expectation or conditions, my heart will always remain full. And I am the beneficiary, so I will never feel lonely. So this is how the enlightened ones have unilateral love, universal love for all the living beings, especially the humans. Because they are not really looking at the reciprocation. Reciprocation comes most of the times, but even if it doesn't come, they have realized that it is for my own sake. That's how they have the unconditional unilateral love for all the human beings, or unilateral friendliness to all the human beings. So the interconnected livings, if we have these understood these some few simple facts, I think the world inside and outside. First, the world inside becomes wonderful, and as a reflection, the world outside also becomes wonderful. No matter how, whatever is going on in the world at large, but my world connected to me, which is affecting me, I can change that. First, I change the world inside. As an echo of that, as a reflection, world around me outside also gets changed. So that was the second part about the love of friendliness, how we can go one step ahead of whatever our conventional understanding is. The third part, along with happiness, we seek harmony. Only if there is a harmony, there will be happiness. harmony with whomsoever we are dealing, our spouse or our children or our colleagues at work or wherever we go. Now, present day, if we see, we wish to have the harmony, but all personalities are different. At home or at workplace, the personalities are different, right? Somebody is introverted, somebody is extroverted, somebody likes to speak less, somebody likes talkative person. So I get puzzled how to maintain the harmony. Is that true to some extent or not?
Is it true for me?
No, for general I'm talking. Yeah. So we want to maintain harmony wherever we are, but sometimes we find it a challenging situation. Today, it is not the difficulty about the resources. We do have more than resources for our basic living, but we find it sometimes difficult to maintain the harmony. Even husband, wife, parent, children, workplaces, our colleagues, or wherever we are going as a human being in an interconnected living, I may find it sometimes tasting or challenging. So he saw this enlightened one and he said that in present times who masters the art of adjusting everywhere will not only be happy in this world but will sail to the liberation. So the next question is, what does that mean? So it says that in a previous time we had the farms around us with similar personalities were coming together at home, at workplace, wherever around you. But in present times the diverse personality has become a garden. Garden has all different varieties put together. One is rose, one is jasmine, one is orchid, one is blueberry, one is strawberry. Now each one has its own fruit or a flower. They are different, but they have each plant and each tree has a unique fruit or a flower. So rose never tells to the mango tree that why don't you have beautiful flower, and mango doesn't tell to the rose why don't you have beautiful fruit like me. And we never complain about the thorn of the rose, right? So with that reason, if we look around us, each person having unique personality do have some positive abilities, virtues, skills, whatever you say, fruits or flowers. So use whatever one has, don't complain of whatever one doesn't have. So good manager at workplace is one who knows different abilities or skills of different people and can make a best harmonious team, utilizing each one's fruits or flowers like a book. Similarly at external work, so adjust everywhere is not letting go the things, it's utilizing our broader vision, smart vision, I would say, we can say, that we can enjoy the benefits of whosoever are around us harmoniously. So that's the key to harmony. So this was what we were talking about, the interconnected living. Now about my inner living. So this is mind, body, speech living, and it will give me happiness, harmony. What's the meaning of life, purpose of life? Now if I go inside and I see that, okay, I have two types of happiness. One is the interconnected living or outer. So far as the circumstances are okay, I feel happy. If the circumstances go here and there, I may feel unhappy, but that's also okay. But irrespective of all types of relative happiness, more than what I require in terms of property or belongings, more than good relations, if I look within, still I feel there is something missing or something more than this. Or what is ahead of this? That all can I put? Is that same for almost all of us? Having achieved so much, still if we look inside, we feel something more should be there. Something may be missing.
Yeah.
So there starts the journey to real happiness. So what is real happiness or permanent happiness, or you can say bliss? Happiness is dual, unhappiness may be there, but bliss has no duality. Bliss is a unilateral thing. So for that they say that what is permanent inside you, try to look at that, realize. So when I say I'm Shailesh, my name is Shailesh, it conveys this mind, body, speak. When I say this is my home, to whom the thing, to object to whom I'm saying is my or mine has to be different from the owner as I. So when I say my body, my speech, my mind, my feelings, my karma, that's one part of my or mine, which is changing, always changing from time to time. Body changes, thoughts changes, feelings change, karma changes, even outer things change. So one who is knowing that this is changing has to be constant. One who is knowing that this has beginning and end should be permanent. So they say that our real self is permanent, eternal. It's the knower and seer of the things, and it is blissful by itself. So even Einstein was asked, "Sir, now what do you want to know?" He said, "Now I want to know the observer, through which I have observed everything." Because this science has come as an observation and observe. But I don't know fully well the observer and the qualities of the observer. So the enlightened one says the same thing. Know the knower, you will know everything. So when I know my true self, I have two wings to fly. At the present moment, I have one wing to fly, relative knowledge or relative. That's good. But when I know the true self, I have both relative and so most of the, what you can say, philosophy or wisdom or understanding, ultimately they want to know yourself, who am I, your true self or your true being. So that's the second part. And once I know or I realize that, he said the world is the puzzle itself, nobody has puzzled it. Why he said puzzle? Because sometimes we solve some few questions and you come back. But there are two viewpoints to solve this puzzle, one relative, the other real. So I know the relative very well, most of the aspects, but I am yet to know the real well. And knowing the real is not by way of words only. If it would have been by way of words, the Google and AI and all the AI would have given us the more than required information. No, it's experience. So it starts with doubtless conviction, but it translates to experience, which is a lasting experience. And the another beautiful part is as the bird fly with two wings. One wing of bird will not hamper the other wing. It helps the bird to fly with two wings. So with a relative and real two wings, with two knowledge and two visions, it helps my interconnected living also. Because now I'm blissful from within, I have better clarity, better perceptions about each aspect of life. It helps relative and it also helps my inner living to be a blissful living. In an interconnected living, it gives me happy, harmonious, positive living. In an inner living, it gives me a blissful living. So I think this can be the basis for any religion, any spirituality, any wisdom, whatever you say. And then there are some other knowledge like how the mind functions, how the ego functions, that are separate parts. So we are open to another area. So what he asked, I just expanded on it. How these religions or the other things are. In fact, it is not really the rituals or traditions or whatever that's required for the mass in general. But what is it is more is about the core understanding knowledge.
So consciousness, are we like an internal consciousness lives even after we die? How does the consciousness work?
Yeah.
Because I saw like a lot of evidence recently that people express when they almost near death express and near death experience. And they die for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then they say they normally see their body is there and they don't want to go in the body, but they can still feel that they are still there. Okay. But they are out of body actually. They are still there, but they are out of body. And then next thing, when they can see the whole surrounding, and they can recall what happened, and finally they all came back, right? But the feeling that they are outside, but they can still feel the same thing. The language is gone, everything gone, but the self is still there.
Self is still there. I am is there.
Yeah, the self is still there. So does the self is really eternal or it never goes away? I know the language we learn, everything is still here. But as soon as we are out, it's gone.
Yeah.
But the self, the feeling of the self is still there.
Yes.
And it is, and I'm just questioning myself, is it really eternal? Because a lot of people say it is eternal. You are never going to be de-exist. You will always exist in that form. I haven't experienced, but I'm just looking at other people's experience that it is there. So can you elaborate on?
Sure, we'll do. Let us first.
Yeah, I know this is very high. A lot of
whatever best we understand, we'll discuss. Okay. We don't claim that we know the ultimate.
Yeah,
still, if we know whatever is useful, applicable, and practical, that is good enough, right?
Yeah, because normally everyone has a fear of death, right? Okay, what will happen? And then the people who have gone to very close, it's a very blissful state, like it's very happy. You are unnecessarily worried about so many things. You shouldn't be worried at all. It's one of the most happy experience. That's what people say. So, so why do we really fear from the whole thing? Like every day we live in fear. Oh, if this happens, okay, what will I do? If this happens, what will I do? So are we really supposed to live in fear, or we were designed to not to live in fear? But we end up living in fear.
Fear is fear of unknown or fear of future.
Yes, fear of future, like everyday life. Like, okay, can I
tomorrow
pay my
will I
tax?
have a job or will I
Yeah,
not
will
have a
pay
job?
my tax.
Tomorrow will my health be good or my health will not be. Anyway, but see, all these things, if I put in very simple terms, whatever I understand, incorrect or incomplete understanding about the things. Suppose you are doing something in a science. You want to make something, experiment or a process, whatever you are trying to manufacture or whatever the process. If I have the correct and complete understanding, effortlessly I'll get the desired results. If I have incomplete or incorrect understanding, no matter how hard I try, I will not reach to the desired result. That's as simple, right? So the enlightened ones say only two sentences: incomplete or incorrect understanding will lead to all puzzles. One of the puzzle is whether we are destined to live in fear or should we be fear free or whatever. So that's a question for everybody. If I have the correct and they said that if you have correct or complete understanding, as I said, complete and correct understanding about what? About I, my true self, about mind, speak, body, inner happenings, outer happenings, natural laws, natural regulatory system, whatever I want to know. Then, as a result, I will have all correct stations, free from fear, free from worries, bliss, whatever you say here, there. So the question is, I ask myself, do I have the correct and complete understanding of all these things? If I have the puzzles which are pending, I should seek that what is the truth that can resolve my puzzles or the questions. This is fundamental, right? Now, before we dive deeper into your answer, I will need to know two things from most of you. Should I care more for my present moment, my today's living, or should I care more for the death or whatever is going to happen in the future? This is the first question. Should I be more careful about my present living, my present moment, or what is, I don't know what is what in the future. Should I worry for that? What do you think?
No, how can you? I mean, there's no point.
There's no point.
There's no point, yeah.
So the point is, I should be.
But you don't
No,
know.
we'll come to the answer.
You don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Right, so why worry about it?
It is not guaranteed that, okay, tomorrow is still living there. The presence is still there today. But you don't know about tomorrow, anything.
Samir, I will come to that question. But why I am expanding on this is, let us first be more about the present. How can I make the present moment more graceful, more happier, more positive, more... So, if my present is taken care of, my future will be automatically taken care of. That is one principle we can draw. Now we'll come to the future also, but first of all, I wanted to share that probably my present is more important than my future. And if my present is taken care of, if I'm satisfied that no, I'm dealing with correct understanding, my future will be taken care of. Second thing, how many of you believe that the self as our true self is eternal, or it is just about this life? So what do you
I think it's about this life.
about this life?
Yeah.
No problem. You about this life? Okay.
I don't know.
You don't know. That's okay. So I don't. Okay, I can ask the youngsters. What do you think? Our true self, as the dad is saying, is it about this life, or it is for it may be continuing?
No, I think it'll cycle right after death.
It's cycle. Okay, fine. So you?
Yes, the same thing.
Same thing. Okay. So there are two sets of beliefs in broader sense. One set of belief is it's just this life. One set of belief is it continues. Now let's try to understand, because I need to expand onto this for everybody. Only our belief doesn't count. It has to be universal and scientific, right? So what is the what's the basis or logic or rationale of its continuity. So just I'll share one TED story, humorous light story, and then we'll expand scientifically, more logically onto this. I happened to see one YouTube video on a TED, and the title is "I'm Not the Body Self." It's about one Australian athlete lady who was very proud of her athletic skills in running and energy and vigor. So she was flying in a helicopter, and the helicopter crashed on a blue mountain, and she had sustained multiple injuries, multiple spinal fractures. And so one moment she felt that the skills which she was proud of about the body, athletic skills and other things, they are not there. But then she said, "Oh, I am there, even though everything has been broken, but I am there." So with that, she undergoes the treatment, 9 months, 12 months, the things are repaired. But she felt that, oh, this is broken, but I am there. So she realized that I am not the body self. Not that she was a spiritual, but she was observant. Then again, after recovery, she feels that, okay, let me run, but she cannot run with this. So, okay, I'll fly. So she goes to one flying instructor. So most of the flying instructors rejected her that, oh, with these so many things, even after recovery disabilities. But one fellow was ready. So she again learned flying, and she started flying and teaching others. The whole crux of the story was, in the whole process, she felt that I am separate from body. I am not the body self. Body is broken, is this way, mutilated, but I am there. I has the existence. So if now we expand onto this, that as I said, if the part of my mind, body, speech, name, belonging, attachments, it is changing at its beginning and end, from conception to death. So who knows that this has the beginning and end? There is somebody, some element inside which is knowing that this has the beginning and end, right?
Why does it have to be somebody that knows?
No, inside somebody is observing. We have the one, as I said, know the knower, and you will know everything. So my inner self or true self is knowing that this is happening. The part of mine is changing all the times. So when can one know that this is changing? Unless and until that knower is constant, unless and until that knower is permanent, cannot know that this is temporary or this is changing. One thing is that. Second thing, okay, you see that from the childhood, even if there are two children in the same environment, nourished by the parents in the same way, their personalities come out totally differently. One is North Pole, one is South Pole. So that means, in other words, the tree has seeds. Different plants has different seeds. In the seeds, the whole tree is there, right? So you can say it is genetics, fine. But here, the humans, the genetics decide the physical traits and physical characteristics. It does not decide your inner personality traits, your beliefs and your opinions and other things. They are beyond the genes. So from where he has got this different, even a small child, before he really grows up, why the two personalities are coming out differently? Because the seed is their cause-effect relationship, enlightened ones say. That for any effect, there has to be some cause. Some has personality, very silent, very cool, very quiet, some are aggressive. So from where he got this? Even a small child. You say that when one grows, it depends on the environment, nature versus nurture. But what is that nature which is bringing the different personalities, different belief sets, different things from inside? So they say that it is the cause-effect relationship. While passing through the events, the person accumulates the inference, draws the inferences, good, bad, what ought to be, ought not to be, and that builds up the inner personality. So that is one thing. So cause and effect. And they say that this is a continuous cycle of cause and effect. So how does it work? So I have the inner energy, whatever you term it as, conscious energy, whatever you term it, but there is an element of life. Now, if that element, in the presence of that element of life, or we can say it's a pure cell or eternal energy, the process of drawing the atoms and molecules from outside, when there is a cause, when I decide inside that, okay, I'll help or I'll heat, I'm drawing the atoms and molecules from outside. They are getting accumulated inside. They create a causal body and they get linked to the natural system. How that we are here? Most of the times you don't know me, I don't know you. So who brought us together? And she might have invited even few more, but some have not been able to come. Some have been able to come. So is it by chance or it is by some perfect rule? If it is by chance, the world will be at random. And if it is by perfect system, then there has to be cause-effect relationship of that system. So this says that whatever I have accumulated inside as a cause is, suppose a humorous story that I have planned inside that I want a beautiful wife, she should be learned, so she can do the job in USA because without both doing job, it is difficult to survive in USA, something like that. So that inside has remained as my plan or blueprint. Now it gets connected to the nature. Now what is the role of natural regulatory system? At appropriate time, nature gives all the circumstantial evidences to fulfill that projection or bhav, whatever you can say. And when it is getting fulfilled, it is in a scientific way, scientific circumstantial evidences. So only wife is not given, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, everything is given. So if we believe that this cause-effect relationship, projection and happenings part, even the Rhonda Byron's book Secret, it shows that what you attract towards you, what you project is you are attracting, believe it or not. But this is one science that I am drawing atoms and molecules. When I am projecting inside, it goes to nature, and nature at appropriate time gives the circumstantial evidences to fulfill that. It is in the form of inner as well as outer circumstances, persons as well as situations. So if we believe that there is a cause-effect relation, seed and fruit relationship, then this concept stands more valid that okay, from the childhood, whatever effects we are seeing has to have some causes. And in this, while passing through whatever causes I'm generating inside will go beyond to give me the fruits. So that way they say, our belief system says that the inner source, you term pure soul or whatever it is eternal, or it is before and it is after that also. And the rest of the things work as a cause-effect relationship. The relative works by cause-effect relationship and the real works as a knower and seer. But it's a belief system. Why it's a belief system said to be? Because as I said, from lower KG, higher KG, first standard, second standard, PhD. So we are evolving from within. Evolving on what basis? Evolving on what we are experiencing, what we are drawing inferences, what we are gathering, and validated by our own experiences. So that we accumulate as a belief system. Belief system also is not random. Our belief system also cannot be imposed onto anybody. One will hear it, listen it, but then validate it by one's own experiences. So this is how the different belief systems work. Each belief system is correct at his own level. But as we progress, we have the evolving belief systems, and ultimately that is how we seek that who am I. But that is also not very relevant. Because he put the question, I answered it. To me, it is not of very primary relevance. What is of primary relevance is I living with the present environment, with what understanding can I live to have the better outcomes. I'm happy, I'm doing nice with the people, I have nice relations. Is there anything more, we say value addition? What can add my value? Which understanding can add value to it? That's I think the simplest thing. Or if at all I have anything, what can I correct it with that understanding or with that kind of knowledge? That is why I pose the first question, what is more important, my present or my future?
And if we seek the knowledge, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
the thing is that because everybody is in search of knowledge. I see
it's true.
Anik is like he's more advanced in certain things.
Yeah.
Are advanced. I mean, I see certain individuals are very advanced. Certain individuals are not advanced. Some individuals you cannot even talk like that. You don't even have ability to discuss because you are way inferior to those person and their level is way too high. But everybody seeks knowledge. So what is the purpose? the purpose is to learn.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
learn. So what I think that we are here in this human life to experience
Yes.
and to continue to grow.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Human life is a journey of experience.
Journey of experience.
Yes, of course. And we evolve by learning through the experiences. We are experiencing this relative happiness. We are correcting onto that, and ultimately we want to find out: is there any permanent one?
Exactly.
Permanent bliss?
Exactly.
Is there something more?
Is there
to this?
something more?
Yes, that's what
That's what it is. Is there
Yeah.
something more? Even after is something more? Or did we finish everything learning here? Or we still have to come here and still learn more actually? Or
We
we're
are-
still not finished yet?
To me, we are learning
We are learning. Yeah, no, I agree. We are learning. We are learning every day
till the end point,
till the end point.
till the ultimate.
And then we continue the same cycle to learn more. And when the learning is finished, maybe we are not human, we become superhuman. And then
Whatever. I'm not bothered with what we will become in future, but we are learning.
But what I saw like in one of the video on YouTube, whatever. So they give example. I mean, that's a Korean video. Like, so someone draws a picture. Now, draw the picture. Are you the picture? Where is the picture coming from? Right? So if I show you, okay, I draw a picture, I show you, okay, you will not understand who drew this picture, where this is coming from. Right? So it's a kind of it is a projection of your own creation. Like you are projecting yourself. So what they say, like God is in you and you are in God. Like it's both way. Like it is going both way. So I mean, I'm still trying to understand how this is actually happening. Like we are all kind of like a big experiment, interconnected big experiment. So the God is in all of us, and God is experiencing through us. But we are also part of His own. So like drawing a picture, like I put myself into that picture by drawing it. So if someone has drawn the picture like 500 years back, right? And then we see the picture. So someone has put that picture and everybody's looking at it. So,
No, you're right. So God is also a word. Everybody's understanding about what the word God is conveying may be different. Right? So that is fine. So both are correct that we are learning or we are growing or whatever you say. And the second thing is universe has everything. So whatever you want, you can get from universe. So universe may inspire you, universe may give you the higher truths, universe may give us the thing which I am not knowing today, but I can have. Once my receivers of inner receivers get opened, the universe has everything to offer. That's what I understand.
and one of the things that was I always get fascinated with the Dr. Ramanuj from I mean he was not a doctor, he was the mathematician from Kerala, right? Kerala or Tamil Nadu. He was getting a dreams of a mathematical solution and he never studied. So how did this dream, I mean it is just impossible to conceive like how the dream comes mathematical solution in the dream, and he goes to United Kingdom and then he offers those solutions, and those people who are studying, they were totally like amazed by how is this possible. So the nature is giving straight.
That is what I say. Universe has everything to offer to you.
Yeah.
And whatever your door is open, whatever you are meant for, the universe gives you. See, so many discoveries, they has come as a flash.
Yeah,
Flash
it's
within,
flash.
and then they validated it. Of course,
Yeah,
they
they validated
validated it. So that is why I said universe has everything to offer.
I mean, that's what it reinforces my belief that you are just simply like over and over, you are recycling and getting more and more better. I mean, the knowledge is already there.
Yeah.
We are only discovering it, right? But it's already there.
Yeah. So I agree with you. It's there in the universe.
It's there.
It has to unfold for the earth.
Yeah. I don't know all the mathematics, every formula, but if I try, I will learn it, and it will keep coming to me. So, I feel like very mysterious, magical thing that we are. Though it feels like nothing is magic, but in a way, it is everything is so magic.
We
Scientifically magic.
We consider magic as something which is beyond my comprehension, beyond intellectual comprehension. We believe it is magic. There is no magic. It's a
There is no.
science.
It's
It's a science. At the moment, I am not able to comprehend it. In the near future, something will come up which will allow me to comprehend it, understand it. It's a science.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So I'll talk a little bit. So I want to learn about say mathematics. I want to understand the universe, right? How these things work. But I have such a limited time. So what if my expectancy maybe like 85, 90 years, whatever it may be, right? I learn so much, as much as I can, right? And then after that, is it all gone? Do I have to start that again? Like, what if I want to do more after that? Like, understand, like, get a deeper understanding of the universe, learn more mathematics. Like, do I have to recycle? Do I have to start again after that? I don't know.
See, well, there is no exactly crystal clear answer, but the journey continues in a way that sometimes what happens that I have learned, I have reached to point X.
Mhm.
When I go from one part of drama to the second, sometimes there is a curtain which is coming. And I feel that I have not been able to recollect what was learned before that. But once the curtain goes up, the development journey may continue ahead. So then there are examples that some people from the childhood, as if they have learned before and they continue from there. But it's not common for all of the individuals. It's not common for all at large, people at large, if you see. But yes, there is some, see, what we are carrying is inner impressions, sanskar ke chapter. Sanskar means inner embodied things.
It will be the blueprint that
Yeah.
is already in there, that we have learned this
Yeah.
much and we can
Yeah.
carry it to
Yeah.
the next
We
one.
carry as a blueprint, yes.
Huh?
Essence of the things.
Yeah.
Not the verbatim, but essence of the things. So sometimes it may, if you want to continue that, it may go ahead, but many times we change that. For example, this birth I'm practicing as a doctor. Now inside me, I may not want to be a doctor again. There are a lot of tensions, there's a lot of stress, and any patient not getting expected result is on my head. So now I want a profession which is having less stress. For example, I'm saying. So present effect, whatever I'm undergoing is the result, it's a fruit, it's a result of my past belief or past seeds. Now I may be going separate, different seeds, then my journey will be different. If I'm sustaining the same journey, it may continue there.
So recently there was one experiment actually. So what they did, like they experimented on 2-year-old kid, 2 year or maybe 1 year. So they have just started to learn the walking. Okay. So when they learn walking, so they put normally when you have like a hard railing, you hold it and then you walk. So they first put a wooden railing for the kids. So they walk. They are fine. So after that they put little softer. So then they're 2-year-old kids. They didn't know anything what is happening.
We are changing
And
this.
then- And then they finally change like a very soft railing. So, and you know that if you hold this, then you are going to fall. So the blueprint was already there. They already know that if this is not a stable place to walk actually. This is dangerous thing now. So if you do this thing, you are not going to, you will hurt yourself. So something gets inbuilt into your system that you learn from the previous life.
Yeah. Cause-effect relationship. Simply I say cause-effect relationship.
Right. And similarly, like intellectual is like, it doesn't matter which family you go take a birth in, whatever family. By default, you are designed to learn. So you will find that circumstance as per your need. And then your journey will continue, regardless of where you are.
Fine. So we'll have their questions. Right? You can have take it further. Huh?
I'm not following you.
So now you can take the conversation further. You can come up with anything if you want. I say you.
Oh, you're
I'm looking at
your question.
all three of you to take it further. Whatever you want to have it further.
So when you talk, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you talk, you seem you seem to think about right immediate around you, the people you're interacting with. Do you ever think about the larger, politics or the larger human history, or is it important to stay?
No, we can consider the larger human history or the politics or everything. But at the end of the day, I ask myself, what I would be able to say, do the things positively about it. Can I do anything positively about this larger politics in a present context? What I have. In other words, if I have the role which can be decisive or which can be influencing role in that particular area, I would certainly do my duty or whatever best I understand. But if I'm of I don't have anything where I can influence or I can change or I can improve the situation, I keep that at the back of mind. But I try to work with a system which can be good for me and good for the people around me, or to the extent possible. So, not that everything is important, but see, it is something like this, that enlightened ones come and go, they have their perfect wisdom, but all people are not ready to go by that wisdom or that by light. So this is something that we should keep that in mind. We should have, I will have bhav also, that if these systems work correctly so that one and all get happiness, harmony, justice, whatever you say. But that is at the level of my heart. And then I realize that what are my real life situations, or to what extent I can help that. To that extent I will go. Then further than that, I'll just have the bhava prayer. I'll pray at a large for. I pray for the entire humanity, that let one and all have happiness, harmony, and blissful living. But I try to work around where I can reach them, or where I can make some positive difference. Let me put it that way. Yeah. So I keep working on it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So the present, mind, and the future. For people, kids, who had gone through depression, trauma in their lives, this seems to be a difficult concept for them. Like, think about now in the future, because now you're experiencing pain. So how can you think about the future?
I understood.
So how, for those people, are there like just cause and effect too, like that this happened for those people? It's a cause and effect too, that they happen to them. Like, why them? Like, why? Or if you're experiencing trauma, abuse.
Why to me? Yeah.
Yes, but especially people of abuse in physical, emotional,
Understood.
as far as children too, who had gone through, abuse.
So my simple understanding about this thing is, I should be trying to help them to the extent possible. And first and foremost is, if I can give them if I can change their understanding, change their vision to pass through all the situations, they will be helped a lot. See, the help is a temporary help I give them. There are 4 types of help. One, I help them by giving some food, or I can help them by that is the basic. And higher than that, I can help them by giving some medical help whenever required. Still higher than that is a help by giving the correct knowledge. If you help them study or make their career, it is a bigger help. And still bigger than that help is if some understanding like this is available to them, wherein they can be self-reliant to pass through all difficult situations. That is the greatest help. So here I would look at the situation and I can try to share. So in our interconnected living, we see it as a positive vision. And in a larger scale, if I know the rules of nature, then with that, I will be positive from within to pass through the different situations nature has given. So what I am trying to say by positive vision is, it is not the circumstances or situations which can make me happy or unhappy per se. It is my outlook of looking at the situations or circumstances which really gives me inner happiness, unhappiness, or whatever, depression or illusion, whatever you are saying. So if this outlook or my vision of looking at the situation is changed, rather than losing or becoming unhappy in that situation, I will gain a lot. Let's see few examples, right? So Einstein was said, then Einstein has two quotes. He said, there is opportunity in every difficulty. See, none of us like difficulty, right? But he saw that there is opportunity in every difficulty. Then his second quote is, I am thankful to all those who said me no to do my work, or who were negative. In our language, they were negative or non-responders to my request. Because of them, I did, so I grew more. So this is a perspective. He changed the perspective, right? Now let's go ahead. So none of us like difficulties or unfavorable situations. Why to talk about the people who are abused? But even we normal human beings, in a normal terms, we don't like difficulties or unfavorable situations, right? But the enlightened ones see that the difficulties or unfavorable situations help us in growing from within. We will explore the energy, understanding, and will become more mature. So they say favorable is food, unfavorable is vitamin. So who will not want to have the vitamin? Now think in these terms, that somebody passing through difficulty, if look positively, he will grow more. He will become more mature, right? It's not that we are inviting difficulties, but the nature will give us some or other times, challenging times. It's very rarity to find a life which doesn't have any challenge. The people will have some or other challenges. It's how we pass through those challenges. Either we can make it. Our President of India, Narendra Modi, says that those who are abusing, I make the stepping stones to rise high. He's very positive about it. Okay. Now Dada Bhagwan said a further thing, that I invite the people who are criticizing me first over tea. Why? Because they give me opportunity to introspect and improve with their energy, their washing machine and their detergent. They are washing my ego to keep it to the normal level, and they are making me free of one karmic. Third, they give their inner energy to me. If I am understanding, if I don't retaliate, they give their energy to me. I become more stronger from within. I receive the inner energy, and for they are like the postman to relieve me of one karmic bonds. So same situation, if I look with ignorant vision, I'll have sleepless nights. That why one is doing to this me. But if I look from the positive perspective, I'll be gainer of that. Right? So he said that I'll invite the people who is criticizing me first for the tea. Then another examples. He had a fractured neck femur, hip bone fracture at the age of, let's say, 72. And he was in a bed for 2.5 months. Now, if it would have occurred to any one of us, what would be our situation? Painful, or not happy for such a long time till we are running again. His smile of the face was intact throughout. And what would have been his answer? Can you imagine? Wild imagination. He said fracture had occurred at that moment. From the next moment, nature has started joining it, and that's a medical fact also. So should I cry over that moment where it has broken, or should I enjoy the moments now it is joining? From the next moment, body goes into repairing process. So one thing is, having the proper understanding enables you to look at the situations with a positive perspective, and you gain from within situations with no situation is for permanent. Situation is to disperse. All the evident circumstances will disperse out, like or dislike by us. So our job is to give them the understanding which will allow them to become self-reliant. So that will bring them out of depressions, and other things are the results of incorrect understanding or incorrect perspective of looking at the things. If one looks at the things positively, we'll get out of it. That is part one. Part two, the people who are depressed or feeling helpless or something, if you give them the objective which can make them happy, and the simplest objective, as I say, if they can be given some small task where their mind, speech, or body are engaged in offering happiness or help to others, then they will become happy first and they will feel that, oh, my life is worth living. So if you can inject that into them that, oh, my life is worth living. So I'll share another story with you here. I read a story that a very rich lady with all the ornaments and a big car enters the psychiatrist office. So and he says, I have everything, but I don't know, somehow I feel gloomy all the time. Depression, as you are saying. The psychiatrist was a very wise man. He heard everything, listened everything. And then says, okay, I am coming within 5 minutes. Would you mind talking to my maid servant for 5 minutes? So who will say no to psychiatrist? Okay, I'll do that because you are suggesting. So he went away. The lady came, put aside the broom and shared his life story. And the story was like this, that she said that once I lost my husband in some illness or whatever. After a few months, I lost my only one son, sold in an accident. So I felt as if I have lost everything and my life is not worth living. Right? So a few months passed. So one night I heard the knocking on the door, and when I opened the door, a little kitten or whoever was there. So I thought that in this cold, let me take in, and I offered some milk. So after months, the smile came to my face. So I thought, if this little act of offering happiness to others brought my smile back, so let me continue this. So then she said that I made it a life attitude that whosoever, whatever resources I have, but whosoever meets me, if I can offer some happiness or help to others. And today I am the most happy person. So what changed? So if we can inject this small object, then no matter what, your life is precious, your time is precious, you are precious. Let's begin with this. You can whatever help or not help, but even happiness. If I talk nicely and lovingly to somebody will feel happy. Then I will also feel happy. So if that object can be injected into the person, that he will or she will feel that, oh, my life is worth living. He will start enjoying, he will start feeling the joy or happiness and upliftment out of that. Right? So that will alleviate all the ill effects of whatever is negative or whatever was happening. So this is second thing which I look at. And the third thing, if one is more fortunate, one can be having this knowledge of how the nature and natural laws are working. Why to me? The natural laws will give answer why to me. So for that I need to know nature, natural laws, natural regulatory system as a whole, how it is working. The nature is always in justice. It works according to my atoms and molecules and creates the situations. But nature is not to punish me. Nature is to relieve me of those atoms and molecules if I look at correctly. And there is always something to gain from that. So ultimately it will lead to me to seek the ultimate truths or ultimate knowledge of the rules of life. And if I know who am I can pass through any type of situation peacefully. Because I am different, knower and seer, the situations are transitory. You get me? So 2 or 3 things. One is positive vision in the daily living. Second is having the objective which keeps me happy, uplifted by helping offering happiness to someone. Third is knowing the truth as it is of the natural laws and who am I. And everybody can be happy. Ultimately, he or she is a human being. That itself is an achievement, if understood. And to have the human form is a great thing. So if we can use that. Then we have some good understandings about how our inner world functions. So that part, let's dwell a little more into that part, right? So humorously, who drives us? Who drives us?
Who drives us?
Yes.
No, we drive us.
Yeah, okay.
I drive.
I think
Very
that's right.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is a humorous question. But it involves the thinking process within us. So body is being driven. So who drives us? We have inner machinery. The computer also is a driver. Sometimes the program doesn't function. So the IT people say the drivers are not there or corrupt. So you install the correct drivers. So here, my driver is something like an engine of a car. It is within me. What is within me? It's my relative inner self, comprising of mind, intellect, reflective consciousness, and ego. That's the first primary machinery, because whatever comes is a proposal. The mind shows me various options to go, not to go, to do, not to do. At this time, I need to do. Suppose it's a weekend. One proposal comes from Falguniben, come to SATSANG. And mind may show so many options to me. Okay, I need to go to that friend's house. I have not been there since long, and his or her request is pending, or my mind says, okay, my dry cleaning is pending and my laundry is pending, let me do that, or whatever. So mind has the function to show us various options. Now, our reflective consciousness moves inside and outside. Sitting here, it can show me my India's house also. Tomorrow we have to go to airport before, few hours before it will go to airport and see everything there. So inside and outside, that's a reflective consciousness. And so it's a wandering thing. Now the intellect shows me benefits and loss. If I go to this will be pro and cons, and if I do this. So there is a discussion inside. It's an inner parliamentary system. And when the decision comes between either mind and intellect or mind and reflective consciousness, then Mr. President ego signs, and then it comes to the body action. So first driving machinery is within me. Discover the world within mind, reflective consciousness, intellect, and ego. Now mind says, that's a beautiful science of mind, but we'll put it aside for the moment. Now this machinery says we are not alone. We are influenced by your beliefs and opinions. Right? Everybody has a set of beliefs. So my beliefs, my mind, reflective consciousness, intellect, and ego will function, and it will come out. So if I come to know what are my beliefs, that will lead to me to know the beliefs of everybody else also. And once I realize that, oh, it is belief based, my confrontations will go away, because everybody is correct, or everybody has the right to have his or her own beliefs. It's all right that I can discuss the things, I can try to persuade or lovingly, caringly, but at the end of the day, it's a system of beliefs that is functioning in everybody. So beliefs, then we have opinions. If I have good opinion about him, somebody talking about him, and I'll feel happy. If I have negative opinion about him, even in his absence, somebody takes his name and I start annoyance, or I need to be internet. So my opinions are affecting me rather before even affecting the other people. And if we look closely, we usually have the opinions about most of the people, good or bad, whatever we have. So it drives to knowing beliefs and opinions. We have beliefs about everything, how to live, how to have the clothes, how to take the food, whatever. And the external world tries to influence our beliefs. Some time back, they were saying that the animal proteins are very required, and now they say animal proteins are responsible for some diseases. So this swing also keeps on occurring, but that is simply to say that my beliefs may be influenced by the inputs I am getting, or maybe otherwise. Now, beliefs and opinions also say that we are also not working independently. We are under the influence of your intent or purpose. Now, right now, the Falguni's purpose may be to, if you here, so you also can have something which she is enjoying. But then at different times, I have a different intent or purpose. Sometimes I have the intent or purpose that, oh, I want to show myself one up, or sometimes I have the different purpose. So intent or purpose are again driving my inner machinery to have the outcome. Now, intent and purpose say we are also not alone. We work according to what understanding you are carrying. So this is this science or whatever we are discussing. It is trying to change our understanding for probably the better one. So the understanding plays the role in all these things. then we can have the subtle influence of anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment, or aversion. So this is how our whole inner universe is functioning. And more than that, the enlightened ones say that if you do the research on I and my, so I say my house, my car, my bungalow, my body, my speech. So there was again a humorous story that somebody had gone to trip and receives a phone call that your house has caught a fire. And he started smiling. So the friends were taken aback that how did, so he said, I have sold this before 1 week. So it's no more mine. So the feeling of mine leads to effects, pleasurable or painful. If that feeling of mine is, I'm relieved from that, the effect stops. But it's not as simple, but just to know that what is leading to all this, my or mine, and ultimately it is I. So this is how, if I know, then I can use it to my advantage or my best possible interest. If I don't know, then sometimes mind puzzles me that why it is working, why it is showing me the negative thoughts, why it is happening to me. Like I get baffled with my own relative inner self, not knowing the machinery. It's like in a given setup, you need to know the machinery, how it is functioning. Then you can make the best use of it. Otherwise, the machinery may cut your finger also if it's not known, or there will be some accident. So this is how they say it's worthwhile knowing how our inner world is functioning. Then again, it is attached with the nature and natural laws. So that is how they say your microcosm, the world within, is the reflection, or the reflection of this is in the universe.
Can I talk about a little phenomenon that I have kind of experienced? I just want to hear your input on that. So I play piano, right? So when I start, so piano, there's two different things when you're learning new piece. Obviously, you have the mechanical part, you know how to play it, and then you have the interpretation, right? So obviously, the mechanical part comes first. So maybe let's say I'm learning a piece, right? And I'm struggling on one bar for maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, and I can't get it right? And then I say, okay, fine, I did my practice for today. I do whatever my day, I go sleep, 8-9 hours of sleep, right? And I wake up, and then like almost like magic, like next day I can play almost like 100% better than what I could do before.
Yes.
Right? So what I realized that there is at least some different mechanism in play. Not that that's separate from just my conscious, me like consciously like trying to learn it, trying to use my fingers, and then after I sleep, something that happened in my mind, now I can do it seemingly almost on its own, right? Because I'm not consciously practicing while I'm sleeping, nothing like that. It's happening automatically. I just want to know what you
see. As I said, we have the inner source, which is source of infinite knowledge, light, infinite perception, light. So this cloud. See, initially, whatever we apply ourselves to, everything is not clear. There are clouds. So, you realize that there is some cloud, something needs to be done better. And you went to see. Some light came from within, which shattered or which cleared those clouds. It comes from within. Mainly from within, the outer sources may be helpful, but it comes from within. And that time period, the pending query was there. It was the inner light which solved that query from within by offering you a new light. So this is how our inner light helps us now and then. You need to give some time to that, and you need to remain focused onto that. Okay, I need the better understanding, better light for this, and it will come from you.
How does that work? That is so amazing. How does this happen? I mean, we are trying but not working, but something does it and it works.
What we are trying means who is trying?
No, okay, so consciously we are trying to do something and it is not working.
So when you are trying, it is up to the level of mind and ego. Now there is much more beyond that. That's why I described the whole inner world. That the mind, reflective intellect and ego is the primary machinery. But then it boils, the inner subtle thing is much higher than that.
So how do you do better to invoke that part and do the better job actually? That is an amazing thing actually.
Yes.
So instead of putting so much like try and put it like, in a background, you put in a back process. Okay, now you do it actually, and then, it will be done. That is amazing, right? A background process. I mean, if someone can master that, is the best thing you can do.
Right.
What's something even more interesting is if I practice incorrectly, I do the wrong rhythm, and then my mind will refine that, and now it's solidified, and now it's like 10 times harder to unlearn what I did, and then do it correctly.
I understood what you are trying to say. So, see, people talk at the level of brain, which is a gross entity. And wiring and unwiring is also gross, subtle but gross, because it can be recorded. It can be measured by something. Now that inner knowledge light, inner perception light affects all these things. So when it works correctly, when the clouds are dispersed, it affects everything. There can be rewiring also. So people say learn and unlearn, but I would say the correct knowledge light may come from within for any given particular thing. This is a relative application, say it can work for the real field also.
So is this, this difference like this. Is this called those Shaktis? Is this called those forces that is around you, that does help you?
Forces around me may be instrumental for light source within me. My own source is the fundamental source.
But there are forces surrounding
That may be instrumental to help. It is something like this that we
natural forces.
Something like this we as surgeons also seek to improve ourselves. So some of the things come by our own experience, our own understanding, but sometimes we look at the other surgeons, how he or she is doing better than me, and that may give some insight to me how I can improve further.
But that's
So they are instrumental.
Right, but what
They are
about
external instruments.
what about the hidden forces? Those are really visible forces.
That is what I am saying time and again, that my core of being, my true self is having infinite knowledge light, infinite perception light, infinite bliss and infinite energy. Ultimately, external instruments or no instruments, unless that source works for me, I am not going to accept even if you are offering me so many correct things. From where the acceptance or rejection comes, it is my relative inner self and which is influenced. And that's why I said it is influenced by so many things. Suppose if it is not fitting my belief system, I'll reject it, even though if it is correct. So I have to look at it that what is rejecting it. It is my belief system, it is my opinion system. So when I go beyond that, I realize the infinite, ultimate knowledge light is beyond all these things. And that can help me. It can help me for relative as well as. So, for us, what we have been doing, let me share that. So, when I realized that, so I was a medical student, I was a successful student, I was a university ranker also. So, that part was going nicely. It was not that there were troubles, so I was sitting. So that part was going nicely. Then in the vacation, I felt that what is more than this? Let's have a look in a larger view that what is more than this. And it led me to this. Having that, I over the years, I went on experiencing the science. It started with inner bliss, it started with inner freedom. My all external duties, ward duties as a medical resident were continuing without any hindrance in a better way. Because I had an inner clarity, inner perception, better energy. And the inner joy also, bliss also went on increasing. Both were parallelly growing higher up. I had a better relations with my patients because now they were not only the commercial tools for me, but I was trying to see pure self within them, that relative viewpoint there. My patients' real viewpoint, they are pure soul. If I can help, be helpful to them. Now my money or living was a byproduct. It anyway had to come. I just changed my perspective. So with inner satisfaction, inner fulfillment, inner bliss, my outer things with the patients or interconnected living was also going on. And our dealings changed totally. My patients never felt that I'm something away from them or I'm a doctor. They just were getting bonded to me more than what I could do. Means because the heart of each of them were so. So over the years, I have experienced that this is helping me in all the walks, my living or my dealing with the people as well as my inner. So and then now, if I want to have something more light or something more, I have other tools. What are to disperse the clouds? What are those tools? So in a relative interconnected living, we say those as divine tools. Why we term that as divine tools? Because it gives me the boost of relative energy, boost of relative clarity. So we say Tri Mantra or Namaskar Vidhi, 9 codes, connecting to our pure self as the divine tools or Satsadhan. And more than that, I have my true self. So in few moments, I go that in a few moments when I get a time in between my hectic schedule life. See, I experience even those things. That as a surgeon, I am ready. I have ready with a gown and gloves, and my staff is painting the patient. Because few moments are available there. So I go back to myself. I'm source of infinite knowledge power. I'm source of infinite perception. Source of infinite bliss. And then I say to Shailesh that please do the surgery in the best possible way, praying that the people should get the best possible results and nobody should get the complication. So even those few moments are good for me to derive the energy from my real source. And I have been using it time and again. So you have the hectic day, physically you may be tired or your mind may be showing that it's good for the day. But no sooner I connect to my real self, I'm recharged. And that has happened so many times. So we have the tools. We have to understand what tools we can employ in a relative as well as real. As I said, in a relative, I have some divine tools which I use as tools, say 3 mantra or 5 times. And really, I use the qualities of myself to connect to my true self. Right? That I'm pure soul self, I'm the most pure soul self, I'm inexhaustible, imperishable, whatever I have known for that. And connecting with the true self immediately gives me the energy and that experience. So with that experience, I have seen so many people, including my illness of the body and including so many other patients, that even in critical illness, this understanding keeps them blissful or cool from within. I have seen the patients passing very peacefully. Dr. Vasudev, is a surgeon. He also has seen many patients very closely to pass through the death phase very quietly, blissfully, whatever you can say. Because for them it is not the end, it is the change of station. So whether it is correct or not correct, but that belief is giving profound results. So whatever is giving profound results has to be better scientific way, right? And that is how we say that the experiment to know the true self. It's also science. The whole life is a science. Science has come from science, Latin word, means to know as it is. Right? It connects to knowing as it is. So if in that experiment I know what are the qualities of relative self and what is the quality of real self, and with the 5 simple sentences, I try to use that within my inner world. Right? Anything more?
I mean, there is always more.
Yeah.
There is
So there is
never enough.
what is the best like a 3 mantra is the best way to
3 mantra is one of the tool. It is not the ultimate or all.
Okay.
It is one of the tools which gives you inner energy, which helps you, which alleviates your related.
Like to feel that self like a difference between the body and
It is the quality of real self.
right.
The science of separation or science of
So I
understanding.
know some people
True self.
really can feel like all the time that separation. They as you said, like you go for 10 to 20 or 1 minute and you feel like, okay, yeah, this is not me. This is the just instrument. I'm doing this job. But for people who are learning, right? What do they should do in their daily, like so much of hectic whatever thing they are getting so much problem with it.
Yes, sure. Before that, I have a simple simile. The jet flies at what speed? Maybe 950 miles or whatever.
Yeah, 950 miles.
The pilot runs or sits quietly.
Pilot sits.
So whatever is hectic is your passing phases.
Correct.
You as a pilot, you as a driver can be as cool and calm. So,
So just stay cool and calm.
So meaning thereby we have two parts. One is the part of relative happenings, phases outside and inside, which seem to be hectic in the present times. But I as inner self, knower and seer, can be remain as steady without, I don't need to run.
But how do you experience the true self, which
Yes,
is the
that is-
soul? Like that?
Yeah, true. So that is what I say, that having the initiation is the first step. That this mind, speech, body, name belonging, attachments and all karmic bonds, they are relative in I as pure self is separate. Knower and seer, that is known as the experiment of Veda Vijnana, experiment of knowing both by qualities. And how the qualities and functions of both are functioning. To know the relative self is to know the real self. Once I have known that, that comes as a unique seedling for me, then I have to nourish it through 5 basic tenets or percepts and sometimes this, what you can say, recharging swadhyaya or satsang or whatever you name it. See, in his words, even the gross brain requires some practice to wire it firmly. So here this is a new vision we are having.
Okay.
So if we nourish that through 5 agnyas or through some satsangs, then over a period of time that becomes stabilized. And that stabilized experience will keep on self-propelling then later on. But till it becomes self-propelling, self-functional,
Yeah.
Aware-
You have to that
you have to nourish it. You have to nourish that understanding.
Okay.
See, in our childhood also we used to say A for apple, A for apple, till it becomes inherent of us. Similarly, this vision
This also
is given to us as an initiation, a wonderful initiation, then a little bit nourishment. That nourishment will not hamper my hectic relative life. It's a separate. So I have 2 separate times. One is a relative time, one is a real time. And no matter, even if I'm not getting any free time in relative, I can always have a free time in my real or inner self. Because both are different, both are parallel. Right? So little nourishment in terms of 5 agnyas, nourishment in terms of, see, it says something like this. If I'm a surgeon, I seek the company of surgeons to learn more. If you want to master the spiritual science, you should be in company of spiritual people traveling or having experience in the same line, somewhere, somewhat.
So,
And that will keep nourishing the self.
normally it says that, it's not that when someone tells you that you have to experience it, right? So
That is what I'm saying.
What you are saying that when you do this thing, you will start experiencing it. That's
Yes.
what you are saying. Okay.
See, I shared my experience.
Mhm.
It may be different from everybody. But when I got introduced to this, I was having the age of 18 years, right? So I was not a much grown up boy, but some inquisitiveness drew me there. And whatever conversation happened for 5 minutes, it stuck to my heart that, oh, there seems to be something here. So that led me to experience. So the third day I had the experiment of self-realization, and that started the bliss, right? So it's something like that, that if you want to, let's say, correct your vision, then Vasudev Bhai will say, okay, this seems to be a good doctor in this area. Somebody will say, so you still like, okay, let me go to doctor. Then you subject yourself to doctor, either he corrects your vision by numbers or removes your cataract. So that process, first you knew from somebody that, oh, this is worthwhile. Then you went ahead with experiencing yourself and you had the experience. So similarly, I experienced it in 1977 and it was so a blissful experience from within, and more so not hampering my relative all activities, in fact helping it. So much so that when I did my post-graduation, I was practicing and doing the post-graduation together. We had very hectic schedules. I took only 15 or 17 days leave from my clinic. I handed it over my clinic to somebody. Those 15 or 17 days were more than enough to complete my course of post-graduation. The 4 other people were doing full-time studies.
Correct.
Still, I stood first out of 5. So, what helped my inner, so because my inner reflective consciousness was more blissful, more clear, the work of 8 hours was done in 1 hour.
Yeah, that is.
That was a byproduct benefit. So, that was my experiential journey. And why I am here. I have left my practice for 1.5 months. On an external surface, it's a loss. It's a loss to leave the practice for 1.5 months and to come here. But internally, I know that I'm gaining a lot in a real world. And when I go back, the patients will connect to me. And at the end of the day, how much I'm going to take with me. So this is how the journey continues, right? So Dadaji used to ask us that you are doing practice, you are earning, and what joy or satisfaction you have. And here you have left the practice and you are doing this. What's the level of joy or bliss or fulfillment you have? You compare the two. And I feel that this is worth it. So this is how we experience by compare and contrast, and we take it further, or it takes it further. So somebody can show you the way, somebody can start the experiment for you, but then it is your readiness to take it further.
No, correct. That's correct.
Do we want to say 3 mantras?
Okay.
And then you can have dinner.
Yes, sir. So we'll say 3 mantras. Before that, I would like to explain it, what really it says or why we are saying that, or what does it mean. So 3 mantra is one divine tool for us in our belief system, but it has some understanding behind that. So when I say I move to Arihant, means I understand what is the highest possible form in the human form is when my relative self is cleared of all the inner weaknesses like anger, pride, greed, deceit, attachment, and aversion. They say these 6 are basic inner weaknesses, usually ingrained in every relative personality or prakriti. But there is a state when all of these can be cleared by the correct knowledge. So once these are cleared up, my inner self gets totally opened out, uncovered, so much so that whole universe gets reflected into it. And the indirect proof of that is, if we go back and see, the enlightened ones have described so many physical truths also. Mahavir also has described how the atoms and molecules get fused or fission, and he has described the properties, he has described the different kind of living organisms in water and fire and everything which science validated later on. So that's not the main objective, but so to say that the inner self has the potential, it is latent but it is potent of the infinite knowledge, power infinite, so much so that the whole universe gets reflected into it. So that's the main source of knowing everything. So such a living person is known as Ariham or Arhat in our language, means you can say the highest possible human form. So when I go to that, I'm connecting myself, my energy to that highest evolved energy so that my energy also gets uplifted. I get the immediate benefit, and if I happen to see them personally, with their achievement and aura, my ultimate clouds will be dispersed. So I will also be able to experience my ultimate state of infinite knowing, perception power in infinite bliss, or the ultimate divinity within me will be totally manifest. So this is the meaning of first Namo Arihanta, Namo, purpose behind it. Second is Namo Siddhara, means I go to liberated souls. We believe that the liberation, everybody believes in liberation. So that's my ultimate aim, that if I can be free of all these bondages or whatever you name it, covering layers, then I will be ultimately blissful. That's my ultimate aim. For that, I have Namo Ayariyana, means I have the teachers who are like dean of or main of the colleges. So in this part, those who have the experience of the pure self and who are able to help others in achieving or attaining these experience. They are known as acharyas. Namo Vajjayam. I go to senior teachers, Upadhyaya, like senior teachers who have realized themselves in the process of their in their accomplishment and encouraging others to go the same path to have that same blissful experience. They are known as Upadhyayas. Namo Loe Sawa Savanam. In our language, sadhu means Atmadasha Sadhu means those who have self-realization and they are in the process of complete experience. They are all known as sadhu. They are not by external renunciation. They are by virtue of their inner realization. So these 5 goings, it says that will help me clear my all impurities or covering layers. And out of all auspicious things in the universe, they consider this is the most auspicious. This is the meaning of first 5 goings, Navkar Mahamantra. Then we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om is a concise form of upper 5 goings because it is 5 vowels. And Vasudeva we consider it in whose relative personality, all the positive energies is accumulated against the negativity. And Om Namah Shivaya, we consider Shiva as one whose own welfare is accomplished, one who has the full experience and his only desire of the common universal welfare of mankind as a whole. They are known as the Shiva Swarup or Kalyan Swarup. So in our terminology, we go to this as a self-realized to highest evolved souls and their state of being not as an individual but as a state of being or as a quality attainment they have. Every religion may have one or other ways to connect to divinity. But once understood how it connects us to divinity, divinity is there within me, but it is later. So by what way I can unravel my divinity is the, and it says that saying this 5 times will open out my inner energy like anything. It will help my inner clarity. It will help to disperse the crowds. So that is the purpose of the 3 mantra for us. And then we can have a sort of way to connect to our real self. We say as prayer unto our own pure self. What prayer is nothing but connecting to something. So we'll say that and we'll finish that, okay? Then we are open for personal interactions also at any given time, now or later on. So if somebody feels that this is help, this was just a broad overview, but then we can see, we say description and prescription. So after description, if somebody wants prescription, means how can I move on? Then we can discuss that also, right? So we'll say 3 mantra and we'll say the way to connect over yourself. Namo Vitragaya,
Namo Vitragaya,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Loe Sawa Sahanam,
Namo Loe Sawa Sahanam,
Eso Panchana Mukkaro,
Esho Panchana Mukkaro,
Sawa Pavappanasanam,
Sawa Pavappanasanam,
Mangalancha Sauvesim,
Mangalancha Sauvesim,
Paramam Havai Mangalam,
Paramam Havai Mangalam,
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya,
Satchidanand,
Jai Satchidanand,
O Supreme Self,
O Supreme
O
Self,
Supreme Pure Self,
O Supreme Pure
we
Self,
reside within each living being,
we reside within each living
and
being,
you are also residing in me.
and you are also residing in me.
Your form is my real form.
Your form is my real form.
My real form is pure soul self.
My real form is pure soul
O
self.
pure soul self,
Your pure soul
you are
self.
full of infinite knowledge power.
You are full of infinite knowledge
Full of
power.
infinite perception light.
You are full of infinite perception light.
You are source of infinite bliss.
You are source of infinite
And you are
bliss.
source of infinite inner energy.
You are source of infinite
I
inner
connect
energy.
to you.
connect
I
to you.
go to you. with humility
With humility
and oneness.
and oneness.
Whatever mistakes
Whatever
I
mistakes
may have occurred
I may have
out of
occurred
ignorance,
out of
I
ignorance,
confess unto you.
I confess unto you.
I beg for forgiveness.
I beg for
Please
forgiveness.
forgive me.
Please
And
forgive
give
me.
me inner strength
And give me
not
strength
to repeat such mistakes again.
not to repeat mistakes
O
again.
Supreme Pure Self within me,
O Supreme
Self
Self within me,
bless us
Bless us.
such that
such that
my separation,
my separation,
my feeling of difference with you
my feelings of difference with
may
you,
get vanished,
may get vanished,
and I get one with you,
and I get one with you,
such that
Such that
I can experience
I can
your
experience
innate qualities,
your innate
of
qualities,
infinite knowledge light,
infinite knowledge
infinite
light,
perception light, and
perception light,
infinite bliss,
and infinite
as
bliss,
they are.
as they are.
Jai Satchidanand. Shortest 2 minutes process, but I think it is the best way of meditation because connecting your own self and takes us to higher level of experience. So thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.